My name is Simon, although by now most people know me as Peter. Rock is still funny to me, because if you had met me as a young man, Rock is probably the nice name you would have given me. Stubborn? Certainly. Hot-headed? Without question. Always the first to speak for thinking. My friends would have said without a doubt, but a rock? Not at all. I have lived long enough to witness miracles that kings would have envied. I have walked beside the Son of God. I have seen the lame leap like children. I have watched blind eyes open for the first time. I have stood before Gaulis, who wanted me dead. And truer, one truth has remained. God has an unusual habit of choosing ordinary people. So, come, sit with me for a little while. Let me open the biggers of my whole dowry. Now with Told World, it's all big odds. Not with miracles, not with crowds, not with glory, but with one very long, very frustrating, and very empty night. If you have never spent an entire night on the Sea of Galilee trying to catch fish, allow me to save you the experience. It's cold, it's wet. Your back coarse, your hands smell like old nails. And if the fish refuse to cooperate, you'll be good too, then do them. Yes, I used to talk to fish. Don't judge me. You'll too if they owe you your next meal. That particular night, Andrew and I had tried everything. Every place, every trick, every net, nothing. By sunrise, our boat felt lighter than when we had left shore. Not because we were becoming stronger, or because it was completely empty. Andrew looked at me with the expression of a man wondering how to explain failure to his family. He sighed. Simon? I looked at him. Not one. I know. Then I looked across the water and muttered, I hope every one of those fish gets caught tomorrow. Andrew laughed. That's not very holy. Well, I wasn't trying to be holy. We both laughed. Sometimes laughter is all a poor man has left. Have you ever noticed that an empty basket feels heavier than a full one? No? One day you will understand. As I carried that basket through Capernaum, everyone could tell how the night had gone. No one needed to ask. The basket answered for me. A little girl came running towards me. Simon, she said, you know, children always seem happier in the morning than fishermen. We are hard fish. I looked inside my basket as though I expected to discover one hiding there. Then I whispered, I think they saw me come in. We burst into laughter. Again? Yeah, again. But then, old Mother Miriam called out from the doorway, Simon. Yes. Maybe the fish simply don't like you. Huh. The whole street laughed. I placed my hand over my heart and said, Mother Miriam, if fish have started judging appearances, then I fear ya. Of all the things Romans invented, taxis were among my least favorite. A soldier stepped into my path. Perfect. Post perfect. Matthew sat behind his table, writing names. He barely looked up. Morning, Simon. I was hoping not to see you, he said. Well, so was I. I leaned over my empty baskets. As you can see, I've brought your share. There was nothing, not even enough to disappoint him. For a brief moment, I thought I saw him trying not to smile. He quietly said, "You still owe from last month." "Well, I know." After a pause, he added, "Come back when you can." Well, that trust, that surprised me. At the time, Matty was simply another tax collector. Years later, he would become my brother. Funny how God introduces people before he explains why. The hardest part wasn't fitting room. The other part wasn't fitting fishermen, wasn't fitting neighbors. On that day, it was knocking my own front door. My wife saw the basket before she saw me. She didn't ask a question. She already knew. She simply placed bread on the table, a few olives, some water, simple, quiet, enough. I sat down and stared at the bread. "I'm sorry," I said. She smiled. "You came home." I looked up and said, "That's enough." She said yes. I didn't understand those words then. Today, after all these years, I too. Sometimes the greatest blessing isn't what you bring home. Sometimes it is simply that you came home. After breakfast, I could have sit there. Failure has a way of making the walls feel smaller, so I walked back to the lake. The waves were calm now. The same seed that I refused to feed us during the night now shimmered peacefully beneath the morning sun, as though mocking me. I picked up a small stone, threw it across the water. One skip, two, three. I sighed. "Lord, have you forgotten us?" There was no answer, only the sound of waves touching the seashore. Then I noticed something unusual. People. Lots of people. They were all walking in one direction. Curious, I stopped a passing man. "What's happening?" He smiled. "Jesus of Nazareth is teaching." I had heard that name before. Some said he healed the sick. Others said he was poor with an authority or like any rabbi. Some even whispered, "Could it be the one we've been waiting for?" I looked towards the growing crowd. I had no idea that before this day ended, my life would never be the same again. Looking back now, I realized something. That every empty night wasn't the hand of God's provision. It was the beginning of God's invitation. Had my nets been full, I might never have looked towards the shore. Sometimes God allows our hands to be empty, so our hearts are finally ready to receive something far greater. Next time, I'll tell you about today a carpenter stepped into my boat and somehow knew more about fishing than I did. Well, until then, may the Lord who filled my emptiness also fill every place in your life.